Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is Friday afternoon, 12:30 Australian Eastern Time, which means it's the People to People and Frog Recruitment Employment Market Update. It is a beautiful, beautiful autumn day out there in Sydney. So there's got those crisp mornings and then bright and sunny. You know what it is? It's actually perfect for golf. And one of the founders of People to People, Simon Gressier, loves a game of golf, and I think we've got a picture of Simon. There he is. There's the man himself out. I think it's St Michael's. And Jaden, if you've got the link to St Michael's golf course down, which is in the southern suburbs of Sydney, you should definitely go check it out. Do we have another one, an action shot of Simon there as well? Yeah, there he is, putting a few balls down, and look at that blue sky. It's perfect autumn weather here in Sydney. But that's not what we're here for. Today, it is our employment market update, so we'll go through our regular numbers section, and of course the ABS released the unemployment numbers on yesterday, so we'll go through those. Some very interesting numbers there. Then we'll be catching up with Shannon Barlow, the Managing Director of Frog from across the ditch in New Zealand. Now that we've got the bubble opening, we thought it was a good time to actually talk to Shannon about what's going on in the New Zealand job market. Then we'll be speaking to Steph Poulos from the Sydney team here. She's got a number of vacancies that she'd like to talk to us about. Finally, we'll close off with the results of our Twitter poll. So let's get started then. Let's start with our regular numbers section. So numbers, some big numbers actually came out yesterday from the ABS on unemployment. So let's just have a look at the raw data first. So Jaden, if you wanted to pop that up. So you can see the raw data here. So the highlights are that the unemployment rate is now 5.6%. That's down 0.2 points from last month. That's an excellent number, and way better than we ever expected during the pandemic. It'll be interesting to see with JobKeeper ending at the end of March what that number will look like in April. Anecdotally, I would suggest that it will drop again. There's some people are talking that it will start with a 4 at the beginning of 22. So it is a good number. Even the underemployment rate has dropped by 0.6 to 7.9%, and more people are looking for work, with the participation rate rising to 66.3%. Let's have a look at the unemployment number graphically. So this just to see how dramatic that steep drop has been. So you can certainly see, Jaden, if you want to pop that one up for us, you can certainly see that it is that classic V that we didn't want to talk about, but it is showing through in the numbers. A sharp decline. We're now looking at unemployment numbers that resemble September 17, 18, that sort of level. So that's a remarkable achievement, really. And even in terms of the hours worked, which were released yesterday as well, if you could pop the next one up for me. So the hours worked here are returning, and you can see that the actual number of hours worked is now 1.8, I think it is, million, which is great, and now is on the trend line prior to the pandemic. You can also see the yearly change now is in a positive direction. We were quite worried last month about the dramatic drop in the year on year, but now it's improving again, almost returning back to, dare I say it, more normal numbers in terms of the hours worked. So fingers crossed on that. So I thought I'd also share today some numbers, not from the ABS, but from SEEK. And this is the National SEEK job ad percentage change, because if the MD of SEEK last week was saying that the job ad numbers are the best that they've been since 2017 in terms of the actual number of job ads that are on SEEK. And you can see the obviously dramatic decline in March and April, the COVID cliff. Then the job ad numbers started to return in May, and has been positive since then. And what this means from a state-by-state basis, if you could pop the next one up for me, Jaden, is that we've got some dramatic changes from February to March in number of job ads geographically. Western Australia up 17% in 1 month. That is a remarkable change, huge change. And the Kendra from SEEK has said that job ads in South Australia have never been as high. The actual quantity of job ads in South Australia have never been as high as they were in March, up 8.3% month on month. Positive all round, except the ACT, down 0.1% there. But some really dramatic numbers in terms of job ads. It seems to be all good news on the jobs front at the moment. Rightio. So let's move on then. What we'll do now is we'll have a quick chat to Shannon Barlow from Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. But while I do that, we've got a quick job ad advertisement that I'd like to share with you whilst I take a seat. So if you could put that up for us, Jade.
Hi everyone, Kirsten here from the Accounting and Finance Recruitment team at P2P. I'm recruiting a new financial accountant role based in the eastern suburbs of Sydney, and it's paying $80,000 plus super. It's a permanent position in the pharmaceutical industry, and you'll be part of a fast-paced boutique finance team responsible for all month-end reporting. You will also assist with accounts payable and receivable and own the payroll processing for about 70 staff. Ideally, you'll be professionally qualified or at least studying your CPA-CA, have knowledge and experience with ERP systems. In an ideal world, you will have some exposure to the manufacturing sector and inventory involvement, and most essentially, you will speak Mandarin. If you'd like to discuss this role, I can be reached on 8270-9720, or you can also call my colleague Maddie Lane on 8270-9704. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirsten. Now that was a great opportunity from our accounting team here in Sydney. But I'm here with Steph. Good afternoon, Steph.
Hello.
Now we're not going to talk to you first. We're actually going to.
Okay.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to have a chat to Shannon first from New Zealand. Good afternoon, Shannon.
Hi there. How's it all going?
Not too bad. You're looking very presidential with your New Zealand flag in the background there.
I have been doing a lot of flag waving with the America's Cup this year, so I thought I'd pop it up in the corner there, but yes, it does look quite presidential, so I'll try and bring the tempo down a little bit for this. But it was excellent hearing your numbers over in Australia, and your statisticians must have a little bit of a head start against ours, so our numbers haven't quite come out yet, but I'm expecting them to be along a similar line, so expecting to see our unemployment rates drop further, and as well as those job vacancies increasing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see that in the next few days.
Yeah. And so how would you describe the market overall in New Zealand?
It's hot. So we are really starting to see that quick turnaround, I think, largely on the back of how well we've been able to respond to the COVID crisis. And we're seeing, and it's a really good thing, we're seeing that business confidence increase, and businesses wanting to get that jump start on their competitors and going, right, well, it's time to ramp things up, and we need the people power behind this. And I think realizing that, if anything, the skills shortage has increased. So they really need to get in there quickly to get that best talent. So there's a lot of activity, and especially this early on in the year. So it's fantastic to see.
Yeah, I know that, our March was a great March. There was lots of activity happening. Is it universal? So is it across all disciplines? Is it temp and perm? Is it, or is it more fragmented that way? So one particular specialisation is busier than others?
No, I would say that it's generally across the board. The obvious exceptions to that are industries such as tourism, hospitality, who are still very much feeling that pain, and especially across the regions. But across other sectors, you're seeing strong demand across the board, which is good.
Yeah. Hopefully the bubble then will. I know that at least one of our team is heading out to Queenstown in. God, I sounded very Australian then, didn't I? When I went Queenstown, this is terrible. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get a few of us heading over the ditch to boost the tourism sector there. Now I noticed that you've been in the media too, Shannon, across the. With the particular piece about hours worked. Do you want to share some of that?
Yeah, so I like to keep closely in touch with our candidates and clients, and particularly with all the changes throughout the last year. And we found it, and what was expected is that we found that in dealing with the crisis, people were working longer hours, and it really brought on that risk of burnout. So it was interesting at the start of this year to see, okay, well, things have settled down. It's getting back to, and particularly in New Zealand, we're a long way towards getting back to normal. And seeing what the situation was now. So it was a little surprising that the numbers of people who were still working those extra hours and not being paid for those extra hours was still very high, so over 50%. And I think, and it's not to blame employers, so we're not saying, the big companies are making their people work for nothing. I think there's often, especially with the rise of working from home and remote work, that visibility isn't there. So, personally, how easy is it to, when you're working from home, as I am today, to just keep going, or to answer that extra email, or to just log in, or and all those extra hours tend to add up. So yeah, it was really interesting to see that was still a big factor, and I think something that both employers and employees just need to be aware of, and to help to recreate that balance in this new way of working.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Now, if you're at home, or you're wherever you're watching this, and you've got any questions, you can actually pop your comments into Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, on whichever platform you're watching. We can see them live. So if you've got any questions, pop them in there, and we'll come to them. But thank you, Shannon, for joining us this afternoon. Before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
I was going to say, you didn't. You might be worried that I'm going to lure your great Aussie workers over to this side of the ditch. So kind of brushed over that part. So with obviously with the Trans-Tasman bubble starting next week, we were really interested to see what the take-up would be. So I'm quite keen to see across Australia if, as well as for holidays, if there's likely to be, or that willingness to jump on the first flight. I know, hint, hint, I'm very keen to get over to Australia and to see my colleagues over there face to face, as well as friends and family, of course. But we have noticed that there has been some hesitancy in booking those first flights. So I think there's a little bit of uncertainty on whether or not there's teething problems as we first open up the bubble, and that I guess that concern that there's a possibility of being stuck in limbo, if something does go wrong. But what we're seeing as well as, or hoping for, is that increased flow of workers, whether they're looking at shorter term contracts or to pick up things while they're over in New Zealand, or perhaps even to make that move over. So it'd be really interesting to see how that channel, or when that channel opens up, how the flow of job seekers between Australia and New Zealand happens. And as I was saying, there's plenty of opportunities in New Zealand. So I don't have the March quarter, but for December quarter, unemployment was 4.9%. And we're expecting that to decrease further. And similar to Australia, the job ads are on the rise. So just a couple, very quickly, a couple of the hot jobs in New Zealand. So if you're considering a sea change or maybe a vine change, you can head to the heart of the stunning Marlborough region and take up a branch manager role.
This does sound like a sell, Shannon. Like you said, yeah. Here we go. You're saying go have a job in the middle of the Marlborough wine region. Wow. Okay.
Is now a bad time to tell you that I'm moving to New Zealand?
Yes, it is.
Welcome.
Sorry, we interrupted.
Yeah, so with the branch manager role is around a 90K position. It's leading a sales team servicing the building and trades industry, which I'm sure is the same in Australia, is really booming in this area. If only they can get enough timber and supplies, I guess. So a really interesting role in the regions there. In general, we've seen a huge demand for business and data analysts across the country, but particularly in Wellington, surrounding the government agencies, but as well as in the private sector. And some of the roles that actually Ethan is working on in Auckland is around a major project with a group of organisations for an IT transformation project. So we have some senior IT project manager roles, a senior business analyst and a project manager, all within that one project.
Wow.
So some juicy roles over here, and it's nice and safe and the sun is shining. So come on over.
Excellent. Now we've got a comment from Emma who says she really loves our live video. So thanks, Emma. That's great. And thanks for sharing the data. She's interested in our view. Is it a candidate market at the moment? So she says there's more fixed term jobs and less people moving around for that. So what's your view on that, Shannon? Like, do you think it's a candidate market at the moment?
Absolutely. So with there being less of a flow, and also, we're opening up to Australia, but we're still restricted in the other overseas job seekers who we can employ. So before going into COVID, it was already candidate short. So that's just kind of exacerbated that problem. But on the good side, for candidates with good skills and experience, that means that you're in demand. So, and are likely to have multiple opportunities to weigh up. So my advice would be to really take a step back and think about what's important to you long term. So often people will apply or wait for an opportunity to come to them. But it's good to know, okay, what's going to make me choose one job over the other, and to really know what it is that you want, so that you can go out there and go after it. And we're more than willing to help you in that process.
Yeah, fantastic. All right. Okay, well, thanks, Shannon. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Now, I don't know what's it's Kia ora is hello. What's goodbye?
Sorry, I was just
a really poor. So what is it?
Oh, now you've got me on the spot because I was laughing at your.
So you're not really a Kiwi,
which was very mean.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks, Shannon, and hopefully we'll talk again soon. Thanks for joining us. Right.
Much
okay.
more.
So
See you later.
that's it. That's the one.
See you, Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon. So, right, so I'm here with you, Steph. So I'm conscious of time, so we're already 20 minutes in. So, but you've got a couple of jobs that you would like to talk to us about, yeah?
I do. I also want to clarify to my manager who's chatted us through, I'm not moving to New Zealand. I still want my job here. I'm not leaving.
I did see that comment there as well. Yeah, fantastic.
Yes, so I'm recruiting for some really great roles at the moment. So first one is an import coordinator. So international business, instantly recognizable in this field. They're looking for someone with air freight experience as well as import. So that is essential. They're located in the eastern suburbs. Salary that we're looking for is roughly that 60 to 65 plus super.
What's the title on that job?
It's an import coordinator in the air freight. So sitting in their operations team. Yeah. So air freight, import experience. If you've got any, I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Okay.
Additionally, I'm recruiting for an EA/operational coordinator / office coordinator. Now, it's a very broad role, and it's with a really, really great business. So they are global, but in Sydney, they have a smaller office. They're looking to pay within that 100 to 110 mark. Now, this person will be very hands-on. So you need to be willing to do all of the EA support.
Yep.
So you'll be supporting 5 department heads, the general administration work around the office as well. Additionally, making sure they're compliant, dealing with any governance that comes up as well, with the board meetings. So that's important, but it's an exciting role because it's what you make it. So if you want to learn more, it's in financial services, by the way.
Yeah.
If you want to learn more about a certain aspect of the business, they're willing to teach you. Like I said, the role is what you make it.
So
that's
it's a good remuneration package as well. Is there any other benefits that we should be aware of?
Other than the salary, other than the fact that they are a growing organisation, they're global, they do.
Can you work from home?
No, unfortunately not. It's a work from office scenario. But, potentially they could down the line for the right person, but it is for the time being.
Yeah, right at the beginning then, yeah.
Work from office scenario.
Okay, good. Now, if somebody's interested in any of those roles, how do they get in touch?
They can give me a call. So my direct line is 02-8270-9763. Oh, I can see it on the screen there. Thank you, Jaden. Or my email, stephaniep@people2people.com.au. Give me a call. I'd love to have a chat.
Great. All right. And we'll make sure we get some links to those jobs up in the comments there for everybody. So it is a market that is moving. There's lots of jobs around at the moment, which is nice to see. I mean, certainly this time last year when we were going live on Facebook, it was a much different scenario. So plenty of opportunities, a good time to be looking. Now, we're right at the end of the broadcast. First thing I'd like to do is have a quick look at last week's Twitter poll. And our question was, as a job seeker, how would you rate the job market right now? So these were some really interesting results. I'm not sure, Jaden, if you've got those. I'm not sure if I sent them through to you. Oh, here they are here. So as a job seeker, how would you rate the job market right now? 57%. So this is a Twitter poll. So it's a Twitter poll, 597, so about 600 people voted over the last week. But 57% said poor. That's such a surprise because our lived experience in terms of the jobs that the number of vacancies that we're working on, our ability to find candidates is suggesting otherwise. So my personal view, I'd say it's a good market. It's not booming just quite, but 10% still say it's booming and 25% said it's okay. So that was an interesting result. I would suggest that is a disconnect between what candidates see and what the experience is.
I mean, it'd be good to get an indication of what sort of industries, what sort of jobs these people would be going for.
Yeah,
that would give us more of an indication.
Because maybe it's a sector by sector thing, but certainly in the 10 specializations we're working in. So what about this week? So the poll this week, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you whether you take a lunch break. Do you have 15 minutes, full hour? Do you want to pop that? Yeah, there we go. A full hour, yes, a quick one, or I eat at my desk. I know I'm terrible. I actually eat at my desk.
I don't think I ever see you go on a lunch break, Mark.
No, I don't. Yeah,
you need some time off.
I need a break. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, how about I take a break now? Then? That's what we get. So thanks for joining us this afternoon. We'll be back again 12:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube with another employment market update. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you then.